Hello, so this is Black the Fall. It's a platformer, puzzler platformer. It's kind of like an inside clone. I don't mean that in an insulting way. But it's essentially... I mean, it's that sort of game, really. It's a platformer where you have to solve puzzles to progress. And it does also have like a dark political edge to it, similar to Inside. But it's more realistic. Like the politics of it are actually based upon real events. But I guess we'll get into that once we get playing. I've already finished the game. I've played it several times now. So we'll just start from the beginning. I think that's how you start a game. Not too sure. It's been a while. So as you can see, quite a dark tone to it. Kind of reminds me of that. Was it an Apple advert, like from the 90s? It was like is it a woman who runs up and smashes a screen, and there's all these people like dressed in the same clothes, and it's supposed to be like an analog for, I guess, communism. Like basically saying how amazing individuality is and how individual you are if you buy Apple, which really makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So you okay now. Oh no, whoops. Yeah, okay, we're doomed. So good start. We're doing well. Come on, guys. So if you notice the sign on the door, I don't know what the number is above the machine, like it's counting down. Don't know what that is about. But if you notice the sign on the door, the white sign, that essentially tells us what we need to do, or what the trick is, I guess, maybe. Like usually it tells you what you can do. Like later on you get like a laser pointer thing. How does that work? Oh, Jesus, I shouldn't have waited there. Like here, it tells us we need to run to get to the objective. Back there, I think it was telling us the red line triggers the alarm, and that's what the challenge is. Like figuring out how to beat that, I think, anyway. Like later on you get like a laser pointer, and you just the pictures just tell you what to do with the laser pointer to progress. So that is fire, that hurts, in case anybody wondered. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's intentional, because like spoiler, this is about communism as well. But it reminds me of that Apple I think it's an Apple advert. This took me forever to like work out. So actually, if you carry on, like that guy can see you if he looks down, and if you carry on at the wrong time, when the seesaw goes down, the bucket flies up and creates a noise and draws attention to you, and you get shot. There we go. There we go. I'm doing this so well, even though I died at the start. So what we need to do here is, oh, we've gone too far. Need to get through the glass. We need to use this as a battering ram, essentially. But if we move it across here, if you look, you can see steam in front of us. So if we do it there, we can't get through. Like, we need to make a hole in the window, essentially. But if we do it there, it's not going to work. Well, I mean, oh god, it'll make a hole. but we can't go through the hole because we'll just die from the steam. So we need to go down here, make a hole here. There wasn't a hole here. There is now. Like, look, if you see the white sign there, it tells us we need to climb up. Doesn't actually tell us how to climb, which is interesting, but simple enough to figure out. I guess I should explain the basics of the mechanics. Like, we can run, we can walk, we can also crouch. As I say, you get a laser pointer thing later on, which I'll explain once we get to it. What else is there? You can use stuff, or you can jump. So it's basically a combination of that and puzzle solving in the environment. Here, if you notice, there's a bucket on the table. If we're too loud, that falls off. There you go, and we get murdered, which isn't good. I don't like being murdered. Just putting that out there, in case anybody wondered. I quite like this. I mean, it is like basically an inside clan. I don't know if that's intentional. Like, I don't mean it in a derogatory way. It's a really good game for what it is. It's like basically like Inside, but less polished. But it does it well. So where's the problem with that? But I don't know if it came out after Inside and was like, they were like, oh, Inside is amazing. Let's make something. Oh. Let's make something similar to that, or like it's just a coincidence, because these things do happen. Oh, I just noticed that guy in the top window. But yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, it does. Like, it's simple, it's not as polished as Inside, or as, should I say, nuanced, but it does everything well, I think. I love the subtle hints as well, with like mechanics. Like later on, well, I'll probably show you when you get there, but there's one point where like you have to stops. You get like a robot buddy, and you have to like use him to sort of sit in front of steam pipes to stop the steam from killing you. Oh, there's a laser pointer to stop the steam from killing you. But before you get to that, before you get to using him like that, you actually discover you actually walk past a bunch of steam pipes, like in the foreground, that he steps over and he stops the steam coming out of them. So it's obviously there as a hint that you can do that later on. There's a few other different ways as well. It hints at like future mechanics you can use, which I think is cool. So yeah, this is the laser pointer, as you can see from the pictures. You use the right analog stick essentially. I'm on controller. I'm no longer part of the master race. I'm using controller for this anyway. It's more comfortable, I think, with this type of game. And you can let you move it around, and then you use it's like a right bumper to select them, and you can tell them to do stuff. So I don't think this does anything. I'm not sure. It just moves like a red screw, a red bolt back and forth, which is great, I guess. A lot of these puzzles just took me forever to work out. Like this one, I didn't know what would happen. Like if you use the pointer. The pointer command, I guess I could call it, this thing. I'm pointing at stuff and hitting the right bumper. If you use that, like in the the eyesight of a turret. Like, it just targets you immediately and guns you down. So it took me forever to like realise, or at least try, moving the guy into the eye line of the turret, because like I thought it's just going to kill him straight away, but no, it sort of takes control of them and then makes them do stuff for some reason. Not sure why. Oh no. Oh, okay, that worked. But I don't really get why it makes them do stuff. Like, why did it make that guy use this lever to bring this up here? That's a bit nonsensical to me. But hey ho, it worked. We're free. And here's a bit of subtle storytelling. I mean, I'm guessing. So this is, I think it's a Romanian game. I think it's about the fall of Ceausescu. So I don't know if that's a Romanian guy. I don't recognise the face. Obviously Stalin, Lenin, Marx. And here's a grunt listening to his communist overlord's bark orders at him. And look at that stuff in the background. It's interesting, there's a lot of subtle world building. Yeah. So much like inside, there's a lot of like waiting and like just trying to figure out where you fit into the puzzle. Like, do I sit around? Do I try and do something here? That sort of thing. Because sometimes it's not always about just rushing in, and it's not always about staying put. Sometimes you have to take risks. Sometimes you have to wait. But you just have to, like, it's trial and error until you realise what you need to do, essentially. So we'll make him use this. Essentially what we need to do is we're going over here. Oh. But we need to get past this guy, obviously, so we need to distract him. So what we're going to do is just put a little movie on for him. Is that Ceausescu? Can't even remember what Ceausescu looks like. I think that's Ceausescu. I mean, it is super blurry, so guess I can't be blamed too much if I don't know for sure. But I think it's him. So essentially this is another of those puzzles where you have to move slowly along to progress. Like, we can hide on that first bike, we can hide on any of the bikes really, but obviously we need to move these guys first. Damn it. Oh. Whoops. That was not smooth at all. Yeah, is there like a name for these puzzles? They're quite common in these games, aren't they? You know, where you have a simple puzzle. A simple puzzle that you've had to use earlier on, or puzzle technique you've had to use earlier on, like us getting on the bike to hide from the surveillance camera, and then the game builds upon it. So in this case, rather than like, you know, we had the 3 bikes before, and we had to hide on the middle bike to progress. Oh, god damn it. At least we solved the puzzle. So you remember earlier on there were like 3 bikes and a camera that kept sweeping by them, and we had to jump on the middle bike while the camera wasn't looking to get past the camera. And this is obviously just an evolution of that, like building upon the same idea but with more complexity. This is quite easy. I just keep failing badly. Don't know if it's because I'm talking or what. There we go. Oh dear. So yeah, this one's not too hard. It took, I think I sort of realised this was going to be the trick pretty early. Just getting it to work right. I kept jumping into these because these kill you, by the way. And then I didn't realise straight away you had to put him back on the bike. So essentially what you need to do is, because this is reflective like the pipe there, so you use the pipe here because you can see it's shiny to get him off the bike, to get his attention and to move him there, and then you have to activate the bike again to get the pipe moving, so you can then use this switch as well to progress this way, which is neat. Oh, I like that. That's really cool. Have to watch out for that gap there. Oh dear. So I don't get what they're making here, but I don't know if that's intentional. Like, it doesn't seem as though they're making anything useful. But then that might be part of the critique. Because I feel like a lot of communism was just making stuff that's unnecessary. But then I guess you could say about capitalism as well, can't you? Although you can say about capitalism. Because like, what does that make? How is that useful? What the hell? I jumped and he just like went vertical. Oh, there we go. I swear sometimes the physics don't work. Like, it's not one of those games where everything just works and makes sense. Like, sometimes it is because you hit jump at the right moment, even if realistically speaking, like if you make a jump, it's not because within the game physics it works. It can just be because you hit it at the right time, if that makes sense. Like, it's not physically possible, but because it works for the game, it makes that work and it makes you progress, if that makes sense. Which I guess is kind of relates to what I said about Inside and how it compares to Inside, because this feels like a less polished version of Inside basically, and there's stuff like that not making sense that I think is what makes it feel like it's an unpolished Inside clone. Though I guess I shouldn't say that too much because it is a really good game. And it does sound as though I'm slagging it off. I don't mean to. So this is more, well, not more, this is like propaganda, isn't it? Or a critique on propaganda. I think we have to be careful here. Does he have to be over here? There we go. Yeah, I think if you can see, he's looking through the grill on the floor to get us. Yeah. Can we get through? Yeah, brilliant. So basically what happens usually is he uses that big red telephone to phone his bosses. Don't know what this is. Is that like a solar system or what? It's a bit weird. So I've seen basically they're filming propaganda there, like agricultural propaganda about how plentiful the harvest is or whatever. Can we do this from here? No. We basically interrupted that, which is a no-no, obviously. So this is going to borrow our glove for a little while. But we don't need it facing up there. So basically, again, what we need to do is use the basically bounce the laser off of this. To get the lift to go down. There we go. Don't know why it's not stopping. There we go. Oh, god damn it. And there we go. So if you do go this way, if we can push through the gate, you can meet a guy up here. Doesn't really achieve anything. I guess it's a more subtle world building, isn't it? You know, as much as I like Inside, I find this a bit more moving because this is based off real stuff. I mean, obviously it's a fictional world and this isn't how it happened in real life. But it's touching on what it was like for people. What's that turret doing? What's that one doing? Interesting. This puzzle took me ages to work out. It's quite simple once you know the trick though. And there's actually like 3 levels to it, I guess, 3 layers to it. 2 or 3. So essentially what we need to do is point the laser at that right hand door to get through. But we need to retrieve our laser pointer because there's a lift in the next room, and if we don't retrieve the laser pointer we get horribly killed. But to do that we have to go back to the first room. I'll show you. But the challenge here is obviously laser grid, and actually the laser resets after like so many passes. So basically what we need to do is point this laser pointer in this room at that left hand door to get in there, get our like portable laser pointer back. Then once we've got that, wait for this to reset the security grid. Should be one more pass and then it resets and the laser points back up again, and then we point that at the right hand door, and then we can progress. So yeah, it's like 2 or 3 layers of puzzle to it, isn't it? Because it's not just about opening the door. You have to open the previous door as well. And you have to be careful here as well. Oh. I think if we keep going down there's another bit of story. Oh wait, or is it up here? Let us see. Oh no, that's the way we progress. Back here then, is it? Oh yeah, I think it's through here. Yeah, I don't know who these people are. Yeah, that's Ceausescu, isn't it? Pretty sure. Not sure about her. So interesting though, a lot of this unlocks achievements as well when you discover these little story points. Because the devs are obviously trying to tell you something, it's just without knowing more about what happened, it's not easy to know what's going on, you know.